All righty. Once again, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Lewis Basketball Network. It is your boy Lewis, man, and I am back with a second straight live stream. Yesterday was my very first one, and I was very excited about that. And I want to thank you guys for those who showed love and came through the live stream and was able to give your predictions, your comments, and your thoughts on the basketball topics at hand. I want to say thank you very much. And we are back on it once again. I just came off the live stream with He Knows His Sport and D Jefferson and Alistair who came in, 49 who came in. It was a very great debate as always with those guys, and I love to, I love debating those guys every Sunday, man. It's just awesome. Yo, shout out to my man Josh the Go, first guy in here. I know he missed the live stream yesterday, man. I appreciate you for being here and being in that last one too, man. It's awesome, yo. How are you, man? I hope everything is good with you, man. As you can hear music in the background because there's a barbecue going on downstairs, so that's why the music is loud, man. So it is what it is. But once again, this live stream today, make sure you like the video as you come in, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share this video, man. Jay, man, what's up with you, bro? Shout out to my man Rio in the building. Finally, bro. Oh man, Doug Banks, I got you, son. Man, you want what you want? Ribs? You want burgers, man? You want beer? We got the liquor on deck, man. What you looking for? Chaser? All right, yo, I got you, fam. So, it is what it is, man. Hot dogs, man. We already know what it is. Potato salad, yo. We in there, bro. So, basically this live stream, the first one was basically just about basketball topics and what was going on in the league. But this one in particular, once again, man, yo, we are talking about top 10 greatest players in NBA history. Okay, so I want to make sure that this one is he said I want all in, man. No alcohol Sunday. Nigga said Mr. Duck got to go to work on Monday banks, so no alcohol Sunday. I feel you. I feel you. But so basically, man, we're talking about top 10 greatest players of all time. It's a very crazy subjective argument because again, we always have like our favorite players and we put them because with the way that they play, we think that they're worthy of being top 10 all time. But when I look at a top 10 player, it's somebody, for me, in my opinion, somebody who impacted the game in a way that no other player did in the way they did it. So basically, their impact was very unique. I look at best player by their position. I also look at basically, obviously, you got to have individual stats and how were they when they played on the teams that they on? Were they on great teams? Were they the best players on their teams? Did they elevate their teams to win? So we look at it like from that perspective, man. So we basically have all these guys, man. And I'm gonna mention my top 10, and I'm gonna mention about maybe 3 or 4 honorable mentions who probably might have a case for a top 10. But without further ado, so would you guys want me to go backwards from 10 to 1, or would you want me to go from 1 to 10? Let me know in the chat. Would you want me to go forward from 1 to 10, or would you want me to go backwards from 10 to 1? How would y'all want me to do this, man? Let me know. Let me know real quick. Okay, Jordan Maverick says he wants me to go 10 to 1. Okay. Okay. No problem. Is that everybody else wants? I mean, I don't mind going 10 to 1 or 1 to 10. It doesn't matter. I think the 10 to 1 makes it kind of really interesting, man. Okay, Jay Anderson says I agree. So I am definitely gonna do it. It's cool out of the way, Josh. Okay. You know what? Just to add a little drama, because that's what we do out here in the Move Basketball Network. We are going to put it from 10 to 1. Because it has that little drama effect, man. So it's always interesting. You want to hear like who you got where, and then it's like who you think would actually be higher than this player or this player or not. Before I get started, what I'm gonna do, since we're going backwards, I'm gonna start with my honorable mentions. Okay, so I got at number 13, I have Mr. Moses Malone. I think Moses Malone is a guy that we don't talk about enough. He is one of the more underrated greatest players of all time. This guy doesn't get enough credit for the impact that he had on that 83 Philadelphia 76ers team when he came in, won the league MVP, and almost had that prediction in, I think, the Sixers going 12-1 in that postseason, because he predicted they were going to run the table. They almost did it. Not quite, but they definitely for sure, he was definitely one of the all-time greats. That doesn't get mentioned enough, I think. He's what made Barkley what he is. He made Barkley work harder. Hold on, excuse me, guys, just one quick second. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, back real quick. And oh, like I was saying, Moses definitely, he was an MVP. I think he was a multiple-time MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Helped win the championship in '83. I believe, was he Finals MVP in '83? I think he was. I'm not quite too sure. But that '83 Sixer team won 65 games, and that was the year before Barkley got drafted in that historic '84 draft that had John Stockton. Was it Sam Bowie, who unfortunately his career didn't pan out, even though he was a very good big man in college. Hakeem Olajuwon, and then of course you got MJ, Michael Jordan, right? Yeah, Josh is saying I think he was. It's possible. I might have to do research on that, but I think he was the Finals MVP. Let's see. Uh, Damn. And then you have at number 12. We'll get up. Okay, let's see.
Yo quiero saber si él sacó como toda esa media vieja primero antes de entrar a la nueva, ¿verdad? Pues hija tú. Ay, Dios mío. ¿Qué dijo de la caja? No dijo nada.
No, no dijo nada.
Pero eso estaba como en tu closet, lo que pasa
que what?
That thing.
Oh, that?
Y todavía no está hecho, eso ya se acabó, right?
¿Qué?
The big one, the small one.
Hold on, guys.
Esa que se para. No, mi mamá big one, I need this one. Imagínate, ¿sabes cuánto? Tú no estás mal.
Actually, no.
Claro que sí, porque no otra vez la limpio.
No, but sometimes it still has 3 and it doesn't.
No, that's 4. No, sí, son 4, you said.
Unless it doesn't. Oh man, sorry about that, guys. I was talking with my aunt there, but yeah, no. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, Moses was 13, so I was gonna get to number 12. At number 12, I got Isaiah Thomas. So sorry for the delay, guys. Oh man, that's crazy. Hey Omar, how's it going, bro? Just got to this live stream live. Listen, in terms of Isaiah Thomas, we got to remember something about Isaiah. Isaiah is he's arguably one of the more underrated greats in NBA history. And if you guys want to, you guys should check out my video on why I said that Isaiah Thomas doesn't make the top 10. Because if you look at Isaiah Thomas, he may not have a lot of the hardware that a lot of guys in the top 10 have, but in terms of his impact is top 10 worthy. The issue that Isaiah has is, again, the controversy that came with his career is what hurts Isaiah from being in the top 10 greatest of all time. That's what really hurt Isaiah, with the opportunity to be in the top 10 greatest of all time. And the crazy part was, to me, he's the second greatest point guard in NBA history, in my opinion, behind Magic Johnson. That's how special Isaiah was, because Isaiah could get you the stats, but he sacrificed it in order to win games once he started to get a team around him. I mean, then you have Joe Dumars and you have the microwave, with Vinnie Johnson. You have again, Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre when he came, Dennis Rodman, John Sally. I mean, just even Gerald Henderson was on that 1990 Detroit Pistons team, and then he was also on the 84 Celtics that won the championship with Larry Bird and Dennis Johnson in them, right? So yeah, Isaiah, man, look, man, he had an incredible impact. I mean, this is the same dude that beat Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson in the same playoffs in the '89 season when they won the championship. Because the crazy part was before the Bulls started their dynasty, and the Lakers and the Celtics. Sorry, that's motorcycles going in the background. So sorry about the noise. But but when but during the '80s when the Lakers and Celtics pretty much dominated, and then the Bulls won on their three-peat for that little brief little stint right there, man, '89, '90. Detroit, and you could even say '88 possibly, because Detroit in '88 possibly could have won in the NBA Finals against the Lakers. And Isaiah Thomas in Game 6 put up arguably, he put one of the greatest historic performances in NBA history. He had 43 points on a bad ankle in that game and scored 25 points in the third quarter. And I still think that is a record today. And we're 31 years from that NBA Finals, and it's still a record today, most points in a quarter in NBA Finals history. I mean, I tell you, man, it's crazy what Isaiah accomplished in his career. Unfortunately for him, his Achilles injury ended his career very soon at just the age of 32 years old. Um, Isaiah Thomas looked like he was on his way to 20,000 points and 10,000 career assists, but his career cut it short. And he was a 11-time All Star in his career, so it tells you, and he made them straight. That's what's so special. And he's an All Star. I think he's a two-time All Star MVP, if not, uh, I believe. But yeah, Finals MVP in 1990. I mean, the brother was a special player, and he changed the paradigm. Basically, you didn't need a big man to win a championship. Like that's the paradigm that he changed. He was a little man that won back-to-back NBA championships along with Joe Dumars in that great undersized backcourt, man. So it's crazy, bro. And it's nuts how it's unfortunate, and he wasn't able to get on the dream team with those great players and positions with Michael Jordan, and how Michael Jordan pretty much took away what Isaiah Thomas was supposed to be in Chicago. But I mean, listen, man, Isaiah Thomas was drafted to an expansion team in Detroit and was able to win two championships. That holds a lot of value. So it's very valuable because you won championships with the team you were drafted on, and that's a special place for Isaiah Thomas. It's just unfortunately his career and being slide with the mouth with some of the situations he's had really, really hurt him. So, and it sucks, but it is what it is with Isaiah. But definitely one of the all-time greats, and like I said, one of the coolest dudes that you could possibly talk to in a barbecue, man. That dude is awesome, man. Like, you could probably listen to Isaiah's stories like all day, man. And he just has a fun personality just listening to Isaiah. He's just cool to listen to, man, and I respect the hell out of him, you know. But he just falls short out of my top 10. And then at number 11, on the bubble, knocking on the door, just on the cusp of that top 10, is Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant, man. And yeah, Josh, yeah, it was the first championship in franchise history because that's right. Before I get into Kobe Bryant, it's true. Isaiah's Detroit Pistons, they had not won a championship in team history. And I think they were in three different cities, if I'm not mistaken. I think they started at Fort Wayne, Indiana. That was the original destination of the Pistons. Um, so, yeah, in their franchise history, they didn't really have any. They had never won a championship before Isaiah Thomas came, and Detroit built their team to where they were able to win and compete. So yeah, and they went back to back. So and they went to the finals three times. They went to five straight Eastern Conference finals. So Detroit was that team of the Eastern Conference. Right after the Celtics were pretty much done. But yeah, Kobe Bryant is at number 11, and he gets an honorable mention. Kobe had an incredible career. He's definitely one of the greatest players of all time. Definitely one of the goats. 20 years with one franchise, five championships, a regular season MVP, two-time Finals MVP. I just hate the disrespect that Kobe Bryant gets, but at least I can be honest and keep it 100 when it comes to Kobe. You know, people have called me a Kobe fanboy, and it's like, yo, if I'm a Kobe fanboy, I would have Kobe much higher on this list. But I said, listen, I studied Kobe enough to know that what hurts Kobe not being in the top 10 is this. Number one, and this is not his fault. And that's what I hate, that a lot of people just blame Kobe for like no reason. Del Harris wasn't going to play Kobe Bryant. Number one, Kobe Bryant wasn't developed. And number two, Del Harris did not like Kobe's style of play. So there's no way that Kobe was going to make an impact right away on his team. When did Kobe start? He didn't start until midway through his third season. So I think that when we hold that, that's kind of unfair. And when people just say Kobe was a sidekick to Shaq, I'm going to say this right now. In 2000, Kobe was definitely the sidekick to Shaquille O'Neal. But in 2001 and 2002, Kobe more than held his own in the two championships he won. So even though people want to say Kobe has Shaq, Shaq didn't have Kobe. Shaq had Kobe too. I mean, if we want to look at Shaq's career, and I have him as a top 10 all-time great because he was the most physically dominant player of his era. Yo, his 4 championships and his final appearances were with who? Penny Hardaway, who made what? 4 All-Star teams in a 5-year span, 2-time first-team All-NBA, 4-time All-Star. I mean, Penny's no slouch. I mean, and when Shaq missed 28 games in the '96 season, Penny was averaging over 30 a game, so he was playing at an MVP type level before Shaq came back and he had to dial it down. It's just his injuries really hurt him. And he was so fundamentally sound. That's what's so crazy about Penny. He gave Scottie and Michael problems. It was very hard to guard Penny because Penny had so many different moves to go to. And the thing about Penny Hardaway, he would never give you the same move twice. That's why it was so hard to guard him. Then you have Kobe Bryant, who he won 3 championships in a 3-peat with a dynasty. Are we just going to ignore that? Because we could talk about without Shaq, Kobe would not be an all-time great. But just say without Shaq, we would always say, well, he can get his numbers, but was he ever a winner? It goes both ways, man. No player does it alone. And then, agreed, those facts, man. Penny was super nasty, man. Super nasty. Jordan Maverick, I agree with you, man. I put Kobe at 11 over Isaiah, but that's where I have him at. And that's no disrespect to the brother, man. The brother was an unbelievable talent. He was a great player. But again, and back to Shaq, man, and he won with Dwayne Wade. In my opinion, the 3rd best shooting guard of all time. You know, Shaq got his 4th ring with him. So when we look at Shaq, no doubt he's made an impact in the history of this game. But you're going to sit here and act like, oh, Shaq is just better than Kobe because Shaq was the one that won those championships. Yeah, he won them. He won Finals MVP because he was the best player on the team. I can admit that. But don't sit here and act like he got them without Kobe. You know, like we got to stop with that nonsense. Kobe more than held his own. He was the number 2 option playing like a number 1. Let's be honest. And to bring trust in Phil Jackson, man, help him with their IQs. So, and with Kobe, like I said, what hurts Kobe is that he wasn't the best player at his position. And I felt like his inefficiencies, because he was more of a volume scorer. Kobe's what I call he's a detonator. He's like a secret weapon. That's how I look at Kobe. And Jay Anderson makes a great point. The Lakers, it was slowly starting to transition to Kobe's team. But the problem was, and Kobe actually outscored Shaq in the 03 season. Shaq was still able to average 27. So what I'm saying is, how can Kobe all of a sudden be this sidekick if Kobe in 2001 averaged 0.2 of a point less than Shaq at 28.5 and Shaq at 28.7? And then in 2003, Shaq is averaging, 27.2 or 27.4, I think. And Shaq missed 15 games that year in 03. Kobe played all 82. And that was actually his best statistical season up to that point. And, on top of that, like Kobe averaged 30. He averaged 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He shot 45%, but that's because he had the green light. So he took a lot of shots. And that's the thing with Kobe. I thought his shot selection could have been better in his career. I think what was impressive about Kobe was, for primarily being a perimeter player, I think it was impressive that he shot 45% with the amount of shots he takes, considering that he has to score the ball and that he's just known as a scorer. You know, and he played in the triangle. You know, he sacrificed his numbers for the good of the team. You know, when it was Shaq's time, Kobe, there were times when he stepped on his toes, but Kobe always knew when to put it aside when it was time to win. And the Lakers won the championships. I mean, so I mean, we gotta again keep it 100. And like I said with Kobe, when you look at the other guys that are in the top 10 season MVPs and multiple regular season MVPs or multiple finals MVPs, and Kobe does have multiple finals MVPs, which is why I put him up on Isaiah. And Kobe has more accolades than Isaiah. We also have to include for all our MVPs as well. But unfortunately for Kobe, and then it's like also if you remember, after 2013, he was never the same player. So his numbers actually dipped even more. If we look at Kobe's prime, Kobe's shooting 46% from the field, and he's averaging damn near close to 28 points a game. But when you take his first 3 seasons, not getting to start until midway through his third year, he's not the best player at his position that belongs to MJ. When Kobe was very inefficient, um, it's tough. It's tough for me to put him above, and I love Kobe. Kobe was my favorite player growing up. Kobe entertained the hell out of me. Like for people who say that Kobe was not athletic, that's ridiculous. Now he may not have the hops of LeBron or MJ, but I thought Kobe was one of the more creative dunkers in NBA history, at least in game. He would do dunks, and I'll just be like, "Yo, how did he do that? Like that's just crazy." So we have Kobe, right? At an honorable mention. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what you've been waiting for, man? Top 10 all-time greatest of all time. Starting at number 10, I have Wilt Chamberlain. Now you're probably asking yourself, Lewis, why do you have Wilt Chamberlain so low compared to the other greats? Well, Wilt Chamberlain, he has over what 72 NBA records. He has a ton of records. The dude was arguably the greatest athlete in NBA history. Arguably. I mean, what is he? A two-time champion. I think he's a 4 or 5-time regular season MVP. Um, you know, won 2 championships. Like I said, he holds every single statistical offensive record possibly known to man, if you can think about it. But even then, his inability to win when it counts. I look at it this way: Wilt was very dominant when it came to individual numbers. But when it came to winning, he was not the best at that. But I don't put him lower than 10 because in terms of his impact, in terms of being one of the true centers that was like very athletic and just a hell of a skilled athlete, I have to have him in the top 10. So, and I wouldn't put him any higher than that because I just think that, again, if Wilt had accomplished more, Wilt would be much higher. But as Josh knows, when I did the video with my top 10, I even talked about Shaq. I said it; those guys were very dominant, but they could have accomplished even more. And so that's why I said that I have Wilt at number 10, but definitely an all-time great. Um, Number 9. Some guys aren't gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I got LeBron James at number 9. LeBron James, I have as the 9th best player in NBA history. I know, talking to he already has. He knows it's so disrespectful. He got LeBron out of the top 10 in terms of current NBA players. I'm not gonna go that far, but that's just he knows. But I have him at number 9 in terms of all-time greats. You're talking about a guy who, you know, be it the LeBron James system, you know, not a fan of it. Not a fan of his diva-ish attitude. Not a fan of throwing teammates under the bus. Not a fan of his selfish ego because that's what also Wilt falls in the line too. Wilt was a tad bit selfish. When he incorporated his teammates, Wilt won when he scored less. But Wilt wanted to score. When he did that, his teams wouldn't win. But when Wilt sacrificed his numbers, they won. And you could say this: the LeBron James system, yeah, it produced 3 championships. It produced 4 regular season MVPs. LeBron is a 3-time Finals MVP. The problem is, compared to those other greats, you have to understand something too. Um, Listen, LeBron got his rings going to Miami, playing with the leader in Dwayne Wade. And yes, Wade had Shaq, so I'm not going to count that just as much as Shaq had D Wade, and D Wade had LeBron. So D-Wade was able to win 2 more rings because of LeBron James and with Chris Bosh. Then you go to Cleveland. He had Kyrie and Kevin Love. Was able to get one in Cleveland for the land after 52-year drought. LeBron James, I think, is the only player in NBA history to be in the top 10 in scoring and assists right now. LeBron James is going to be, I think he's the first player already in NBA history to have 30,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, 8,000 assists, or old Shea Sharp likes to say 38 and 8. Those you can't ignore, which tells you that LeBron is a great player. That's why I get sick and tired of people saying LeBron is pass first. How the hell are you pass first when you're top 10 in assists and mostly everybody on that list are point guards and you have 30,000 points? You can't be a fat pass first player, and you should go check out my video when I said that LeBron is not a pass first player. He never has been, so I don't know where that narrative comes in. This is my problem with the LeBron fans, man, with the LBJ brigades and these fanboys and these fangirls, man, and these apologists. LeBron has great core vision. But stop sitting here and trying to spew me this nonsense and trying to do this little brainwash. I see right through the BS, man. LeBron James is great. But stop telling me that he's this pass first player, man, that he looks for the open guy. You want to be really honest? He looks for the open guy in waning moments. LeBron has had his underrated clutch moments. But at the same time, he has shown to quit. Oh, Lewis, what about Kobe Bryant? Yeah, Kobe quit too. He did. But I can tell you LeBron has quit more times than Kobe Bryant has. And that's a fact. That's not a lie. That's a fact. He's quit more times than Kobe Bryant has. If you want to say Kobe quit in 2006, I agree with that. Kobe did quit. At the same time, though, Kobe was in a tough situation because the media was going back and forth. And like pointed to what Jay Anderson said, Kobe was always going to get the cold shoulder due to the rape trial. He lost all of his endorsements. Excuse me. LeBron has been getting away with collusions and doing all this colluding, but let's face it, LeBron is not. He hasn't lost anything. LeBron hasn't lost anything, and it's because the league has him on that pedestal, man. And he's the cash cow of the NBA as of right now. Tell me, if Kobe Bryant was in his position, don't you think they would do anything to protect Kobe? And Kobe could be doing some undermined dirty tactics, so they're going to protect him too. Again, it's about the revenue, man, for your most marketable player. So, Jay, speaking facts on that, man. The least was the weakest in NBA history. Nah, Jay Anderson, I don't agree with that. LeBron has been clutch in his career. I just think in terms of overrated. In terms, they just look what they try to do is they try to look at this whole number of, oh, he's 7 for 15 in clutch moments or whatever, or 10 for 20 in clutch moments. The thing is, they only look at the last 3 seconds of the game. They don't look at the numbers. They don't look at 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 24 seconds, in the last 45 seconds, 30 seconds, 50 seconds within 1 minute, 5 minutes. They don't look into all that. They just pick one particular stat. Buzzer beaters just means that you just hit a clutch shot, but that's not the definition of clutch. I will say that LeBron he wasn't clutch against Dallas. 2007 was pretty much the weakest the weakest Eastern Conference that I've seen known to memory, and the East has been weak for a long time. And my man Jay spoke facts when he said that. LeBron is not more clutch than Michael Jordan, so that's nonsense. He has been clutch in his career though, Jay, but on the level of what MJ has been at, that's ridiculous. Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. But anywho, man, I got LeBron at number 9, so I hold him in that high regard in terms of what he brings to the table. That's just my opinion. Number 8, Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq Daddy, Shaq Diesel, Shakovich, the Big Aristotle, Superman, as they call him. Shaq is definitely, for sure, one of the most impactful big men in NBA history. One of the most athletic. Definitely came with a lot of media hype when he first came into the NBA. And he's the most dominant player of his time. And he could accomplish a lot more had it not been for his lack of conditioning. But in retrospect, he had to put on the extra weight with how he was kind of getting pushed around when he was kind of more lean. So he put the weight to kind of just so that he wouldn't get pushed around and so that he could take the physicality and he would able to really much punish guys when he would back them down. So in one point, I understand Shaq on that, man. But but for sure, man, he was league MVP and LeBron. Like I said, shout out to LeBron, man, for again, just having an incredible career and still going strong. Shaq, 2000 league MVP, two All-Star MVPs in 2000 and 2009, and the crazy part about those, he shared those with Tim Duncan and Kobe, respectively. Over 28,000 points and 10,000 rebounds. I believe he's number 5 all-time in shot blocking, and he's not even a shot blocker. He really wasn't known as a defender. Oh, my bad for LeBron. LeBron made 6 all-defensive teams, 4 first team, 2 second team. Shaq made 3 all-NBA second teams. In 2000, that historic 2000 season, was number 1 in scoring, number 2 in rebounding, number 3 in block shots. 4-time NBA champion. Just physically dominant, man. He could have been higher in the list. He really took Freddie G, man. That was good, bro. So Freddie, I'm doing top 10 players of all time, man. And like it or not, I have LeBron at number 9. I'm pretty sure you got him much higher, but I have him at number 9. I have him as a top 10 all-time great. I don't think he's top 5 in my opinion. I don't think he's the greatest, but I have him in the top 10, and I have him over Kobe. So that's great. You got him at number 3? That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. I would be interested to see your top 10. That should be interesting. I want to take a look at yours and see what you got to say. But much love and respect to you, bro. And what I appreciate about you is that you always keep the foot on the necks, and the fact that you defend your position without even really backtracking. So I give you respect for that. So yeah, man, Shaq was the most dominant force of his time, and 3 Finals MVPs, 4 championships. Definitely one of the greatest to ever play. All right, Shaq at number 8. Number 7. I'm gonna go with Tim Duncan. Nah, kidding. Scratch that. Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon is a player that doesn't get talked about enough. Here's the thing with Hakeem. You're talking about a guy who, let's see, he is a defensive player of the year. He won the MVP, and he won the Finals MVP in one season. That's in '94. Won the Finals MVP in '95. So he's a 2-time Finals MVP, and he won a regular season MVP. In my opinion, the most skilled center in NBA history. What was it that Hakeem couldn't do? From Nigeria, had a soccer background. I think they didn't start playing basketball until he was 14. And you know what they say about soccer players who play basketball? It's like you can pick up the skills much quicker knowing that you have soccer, because soccer uses your feet. And, Hakeem was dominant. He relied on more of a finesse game. Was the number 1 pick in the '84 draft. Played with Ralph Sampson. And y'all remember the Twin Towers? That had potential, and they were both skilled. And it was incredible, man. Hakeem is a gold medalist for the '96 team. Oh, and that's also the goal with Shaq. And LeBron is a 2-time gold medalist for the 08 and 2012 team. Same thing with Kobe. But yeah, man, Hakeem. People forget that steeplechase of a run he had in '95 with Clyde Drexler, man, when they went through the gauntlet. They beat 5 teams that had at least 57 wins or more. I mean, if you look at it, bro, the Jazz won 60 games in '95. The Phoenix Suns won 59 games in '95. The Spurs, had the best record in the league with 62 wins. And the Orlando Magic with the number 1 seed winning, they won 57 games. And so it's so crazy. And Hakeem and David Robinson was the MVP that year, and he dominated David Robinson like in the Western Conference Finals. I think he averaged something like 30 and 16 with like 3 blocks a game, 4 assists, just flat out killed David in that Western Conference Finals. And yeah, so when you look at Hakeem's runs post Michael Jordan, they were some of the greatest ever. No, and they're the lowest seed to this day in NBA history with 47 wins to win the championship. So that's why Hakeem has high regards. You know, won them in his city. Um, he had one of the greatest runs in NBA into the finals in history. And I give Hakeem big props for that, man. Incredible player. It doesn't get talked about enough. It's why you see guys like Kobe, guys like LeBron. You know, they go guys like Dwight Howard, Amari Stoudemire. A lot of those guys come to Hakeem, you know, to learn how to really play in the post effectively, man. He was one of the greatest at his ability to catch the ball and spin off of the defender and be able to dunk it. And we already know about the dream shake. That's all about footwork. Him and Kevin McHale, for me, in terms of big men, had just incredible footwork. Incredible footwork for big men. And yeah, he was a back-to-back champ. Exactly, man. Um, yeah, it's true. I agree with that. That Josh made a great point too. Hakeem was kind of like the original Dirk in some sense. He won both championships with having a legitimate All-Star. So it's pretty remarkable what he accomplished. And so I got Hakeem at number 7. I mean, you could put him at number 6 if you want to. You can kind of flip flop. Number 6, I got Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, the mainstay of 5 Spurs championship teams, best player on 3 of them. Obviously, the defensive anchor that he is. I mean, think about Tim Duncan. 2-time regular season MVP, uh, 3-time Finals MVP. I believe he made 15 All-Star teams, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it could be a little bit more. I could be wrong. Or 16. Um, but get this, folks. 15 times this brother was an all-league defender. 15 times he made All-NBA. I mean, 8 first team, 7 second team. That's incredible, man. And I think his 2003 NBA Finals is actually his greatest statistical stat line, I think, against any Finals opponent he faced. And he was Finals MVP 3 times. And he was All-Star MVP with Shaq in 2000. Just the mainstay, the anchor of those first championship teams. He did play with Tony Parker. He played with Manu Ginobili. Pop was his coach for pretty much his whole career. Um, you said Brown got 15 too. Just throwing in that one out there. No, Freddie. You're talking about All NBA. I'm talking about All NBA defensive selections, not All NBA. Man. I said the Tim Duncan that I mentioned. I said 15 All NBA defensive selections. I believe Tim Duncan has 14 All NBA selections though, or 15. I could be wrong. But the 15 I was talking about was defensive. All NBA defensive selections. No, don't worry about it. It's all good, bro. Um, but yeah, that's why I said it's incredible, and I believe he has the most of any player in NBA history. Um, yeah, no, I was talking about defense, but yeah, Tim Duncan, man, incredible career, man, and I have him at number 5. I mean, not number 5, sorry, number 6. Now we get into the top 5, the nitty gritty. Number 5, and in my opinion, the greatest small forward in NBA history, Larry Legend, Larry Bird. Now you're basically saying to yourself, LeBron is better than Larry Bird. Well, that's your opinion, and I respect it. So there's nothing. I have no problem if you want to say LeBron is the greatest small forward of all time. But in my opinion, peak for peak, I think Larry Bird is the greatest small forward of all time, and I have him at number 5. Uh, because Larry Bird didn't play longevity wise, he kind of get forgotten and kind of get lost in the book. But like I said, real ones know who played against him, and Boston Celtics fans know, and the player and his teammates they know Larry. Larry was a killer. Larry was that dude. Um, He made 3 All-NBA second teams. Now, obviously, that doesn't compare to LeBron because he was never a first-team defender. Larry Bird had disadvantages on the defensive end, but he played with effort on defense. Um, Larry Bird won 3 straight MVPs. 3. I know LeBron has one more than him. He has 4. I know Larry Bird has 2 MVPs finals. LeBron has 3. Um, and the thing is, when I look at Larry Bird, I look at his high basketball IQ, both individual and as a team player. He has the ability to do both. That's where I have LeBron more lower because LeBron is great in terms of his individual IQ, but his team IQ is what's hurt LeBron from winning much more. So that's why I have LeBron a tad low as the second greatest small forward of all time, and Larry Bird as the number 1, because Larry Bird could do it individually and team. So, um, yes, he was a killer, my man. Yeah, but Freddie G, when you say more Finals MVPs, it's not. He only has one more Finals MVPs and one more regular season MVP. Yeah, he has more. But a lot of LeBron fans, they always tend to make it seem like if LeBron is like far superior when it comes to those individual awards, and it's not. He only has one more Finals MVP and one more regular season MVP than Larry Bird. And like I said before, I don't have a problem if you put LeBron as the greatest small forward. That's your opinion. I'm just saying, in terms of my list, Larry Bird for me was the greatest. And like I said, for Larry Bird's career, 24.6 points, 10.6 rebounds, 6.9 assists. So if you round out the averages, that's damn near 25, 10, and 7 on near 50-40-90 splits. Near 50-40-90 splits for his career. His brother had a 50-40-90 season in 1988. And he was the first player to accomplish that while averaging more than 28 points a game. That was before Steph Curry broke that record in 2016 with his 36, 35, and 6 on 50-40-90. And Curry was the first to do it on 30 PPG. So Larry Bird, man, historic Boston Celtics teams. People forget the impact in his rookie year. Before Kevin McHale and before Robert Parrish came on the team, Larry Bird in his rookie year, the Celtics were a 29-win team in 79. 79-80, Larry Bird comes in. The Boston Celtics won 62 games. 62 games. It's crazy how one player impacted an entire team like that, man. That's crazy, man. Yeah, no, I got no problem with you saying that, Freddie, man. It's cool. Like I said, I just think that people just kind of overly make that joint too drastic, bro, when it comes to the Finals MVPs and thing. But he does have more. You're right. That's why I said that. He has 4 MVPs and 3. And like I said, Larry Bird accomplished that in an era, man. And it's like Larry Bird was able to win, bro. He's on that '86 Celtics team with Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, my man. Many people consider that team the greatest team of all time. While we obviously have the 72-10 Bulls that won a championship. They had the best winning percentage in NBA history for 1 year. But let me throw you something, man. Boston Celtics, 67 wins, 40-1 at the Boston Garden that year. Like the Bulls of '96, they also went 15-3 in that postseason of '86 as well. And it's crazy. If they have won 70 games, you neck and neck. I would pick Larry Bird's '86 Celtics over Jordan's '96 Bulls. If we want to go peak for peak, I would choose '86 Celtics over '96 Bulls. That's just my opinion, bro. So yeah, man, Larry Bird, incredible career, 21,000 points. His career was cut short. That's unfortunate, but I think in that 9-year stretch, Larry Bird was just about as good as anybody, and he was considered the best player in the NBA. You could argue he was the best player in the NBA his time, winning 3 straight MVPs. So I got Larry Bird at number 5. He was spanking MJ, but we got to take into context, man. MJ did not have great teams in the beginning of his career. He did not. And the thing is, that '86 season, MJ missed 64 games, so we can't do that one. All right, so number 4. So number 5 was Larry Bird. Number 4, I got Irvin Magic Johnson, my man. Irvin Magic Johnson. Now you're gonna say, well, he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so we can't hold Magic to such a high standard. Actually, no, we can't. We can hold it to a high standard. I mean, let's look at what Magic did, bro. His Lakers went to 9 finals in 12 seasons, along with Kareem, and they actually went to 1 finals without him in '91. Uh, Magic Johnson was a what, 3-time MVP, regular season MVP, 3-time Finals MVP, won a championship in his rookie season with the Lakers. I mean, Kareem went down. He was the MVP of the regular season. Misses Game 5 due to the ankle injury. Magic Johnson comes in, plays center. People forget Jamal Wilkes had 38 points in that game, but in 1980 against the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 6, what does the man do? Plays 5 positions, scores 42 points, 15 rebounds, dishes out 7 assists, and wins the MVP in his rookie season. Come on, man. That's unheard of. And we can't measure his impact. They became an instant winner with Magic Johnson coming into that league. They did have James Worthy, they had AC Green, they had Norm Nixon, they had Michael Thompson, they had Bob McAdoo, they had Kurt Rambis, they had all those great players. Byron Scott, Michael Cooper. Oh yeah, we can't forget about those guys, of course. But Magic, his impact and his leadership is what kept that mainstay with the Lakers. Because Kareem was not able really to win without him. Just like how Magic wasn't able to win with Kareem. Again, team game. But when we talk about individual and team, you got to put Magic up there too as with one of the greatest of all time. And you know, um, well, in terms of a better score, Josh, I would agree with you on that. People could put Bird higher, but again, again, it's your list. You could put Larry Bird higher. I think in terms of overall better player, I think Larry Bird. Larry Bird overall. In terms of overall better player, I would put Larry Bird over Magic. But I have Magic at number 4 because of his impact. So, um, but like I said, yeah, that's fine, Josh. You can put Bird 4, Magic 5. It's cool. But for now, I got Magic at number 4 just because of his impact. So I put him on that Mount Rushmore. Um, and Magic was able, like I said, and I think Magic accomplished just a little, kind of accomplished a little bit more because of Larry Bird's injury. Injuries kind of plagued him a little bit. So that's what kind of hurts him a little bit. That's why I would put Magic just slightly above over him. But as an overall player, Larry Bird is better than Magic. So I got him at number 4. Number 3, Bill Russell. Now, Bill Russell is not offensively great like all the other players are on this list. I got him as the greatest defensive player in NBA history, and his impact can't be measured without winning. He did have he did have help in terms of he played with a lot of Hall of Famers on his team, but the Celtics wouldn't be where they're at without what Bill Russell did for that franchise, along with Bob Cousy, John Havlicek, Sam Jones, Tommy Heinsohn, um, Don Nelson. I just named you just to name a couple of guys. But Bill Russell, he was a 5-time regular season MVP. Uh, Remember, Finals MVPs didn't exist in his time, but he would have won quite a few, just like with Will Chamberlain. Um, but yeah, definitely Bill Russell was an all-time great. Uh, he kind of put the defense on the map, and the trophy is also named after him, the Bill Russell Finals MVP. Um, it's an honor of him. Great man. Definitely knew what it took to win. Like I said, offensively, he was not great compared to these other guys on the list. And I can see it if people were to put him lower because he was more dependent on his team scoring more than him. But he did make the team better. And when I look at his impact, definitely when it came to individual and team IQ, uh, well, with Bill, it's kind of more team IQ than more individual because he was not known more for the individual stuff. But definitely a great player, and I have Bill Russell at number 3. Can't go out without his accolades. So I have him at number 3. We are down to the top 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are down to the top 2. At number 2, I have the late great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And when we talk about accolades, the only guy who could really challenge the guy who I have at number 1 in terms of accolades and in terms of overall career success, we are talking about Kareem. We're talking about a 6-time regular season MVP. We're talking about a 6-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP, numerous records in college, won 3 national titles in college. I believe he won a high school championship as well. I think Kareem is the only player to win a championship at every single level, also with Magic Johnson, because Magic Johnson also won a high school state championship, national title, and NBA championship. So I think they're the only 2 guys I think on this list that won at every level, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but but those 2 off the top of my head. Uh, Freddie G, what do you mean by no NBA? What are you talking about? Not basketball. I mean, there's an argument. There's an argument you could be made, bro, that he is the greatest. I mean, that's argument. Again, it depends on where you have these players on your list. Remember, this is my top 10. I got Kareem at number 2. Um, and also like when we look at individual accolades, man, yo, he's what, an 18-time All-Star, just like Kobe. Well, I think he made 19 All-Star teams, I believe. So he had an incredible career too, man. And with Kareem did win with Magic, so they either one couldn't win. But like I said, neither one couldn't win without the other. So it is a team game. And like I said, Kareem definitely. I just think with Kareem, people didn't like him because he was not a media guy. He was not that media type of person, so they don't really look at him as high regard. And it's crazy because a lot of people try to tend to forget him, but he's one of the greatest. Like, you can't ignore those numbers, man. At the end of the day, he's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. So I mean, we got to put respect on Kareem's name. And yeah. And the guy played what, 20 seasons in the NBA. So it's funny. He's one of the guys that got a farewell tour in his career, along with Dr. J, who's another one. And Kareem is definitely on my number 2 list of all-time greats. You can have him at number 1 if you want, but I think it was because he had Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson. That's why people tend hold those things against him. But it's like, you also not going to win without having that dominating post presence, which Magic had from the beginning of his career to pretty much just about close to the end. And I think, let's see. And so we finished with Kareem at number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. This needs no introduction. Coming in at number 1, and for me, as I regard him, the greatest basketball player in the history of this game, as Skip likes to call him, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I mean, what can you say about the guy? I mean, we talk about how Larry Bird and Magic, they're the 2 guys who saved the league when the league was very low on ratings and was not really one of the most watchable sports in the game, along with the crop of players that came after both of those guys. And the Lakers and the Celtics going to the finals 4 times in the 80s, I believe. They met 3 times in the 80s. And they drew crazy television ratings. But Michael Jordan, ladies and gentlemen, obviously he did not win until the 90s. This guy's what, 6-time NBA champion, 5-time regular season MVP, 6-time finals MVP, 10 scoring titles, a former defensive player of the year in '88, where he averaged 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, had 200 steals and 100 blocks in the same season, did it back-to-back years. I mean, that's just crazy. I think he went 7 straight seasons averaging over 30 points a game. So he won 7 straight scoring titles at one point. The guy went 5 straight seasons shooting 50% or better while averaging 30. Like that's crazy. And this is a shooting guard. Changed the paradigm in terms of winning championships, that you didn't need a dominant big to win. And it's crazy because kind of like when you look at Jordan and Pippen, they were like the wings. They're kind of like the wings of today that are winning championships. They were kind of like the first trendsetters of that in terms of wings. At least with Larry Bird, when he won his, he had Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. So he had a front line. But with Michael Jordan, all he had was really Scottie Pippen, the great all-star player that he was and great defensive player he was. But people need to stop this nonsense that Jordan won without Pippen. Yeah, that's obvious. But they didn't win until their 4th year together. And Jordan already had 3 years in the league. Phil Jackson, he didn't win in his first year with Michael Jordan either. He won in his 2nd season. It's crazy. A lot of people don't know this, but Jordan was thinking of retiring in 1990 after losing to Detroit for a 3rd straight year. And he was very frustrated in not winning a championship. So yeah, Jordan probably could have been out earlier, and probably LeBron would probably even have a better case to probably be the greatest of all time, had Jordan retired early. Even after 1991, when he won his first ring, he was thinking about retiring. But he was convinced by Phil Jackson and his teammates to keep on playing, and that's what Michael Jordan did. I mean, think about it. Give me a guy who wins a three-peat, retires for 2 years, comes back and wins a second three-peat. Yes, you had Dennis Rodman. Yes, you had Scottie Pippen. Yes. No player does it alone. But how about you get to be the best player out of 6 finals? I love how people say that Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen average 20 points a game in the NBA Finals. Scottie never averaged 20 in the NBA Finals. Now, he did average 20 in the postseason, but he never averaged 20 in the NBA Finals. Scottie's had postseasons where he averaged 20, but he never averaged 20 in the NBA Finals. Scottie Pippen's actually had, like, his games are like, he's had good games, but it's like he's never really had those signature great games in the finals. And that's no disrespect to Scottie, man. You're talking about a 7-time All-League defender. But with MJ, it's like you're talking about the most marketable player in NBA history. His shoes still sell out to this day, whether they come back as retros or trying to bring back classics. I mean, you're talking about who put the guy who put Nike on the map. 2-time Olympic gold medalist in 84 and 92, part of that dream team. 14-time All-Star, 9 All-NBA defensive selections, and they were first team, all of them. That's why I got him as the GOAT, man. It's like there's just too many records to name when it comes to MJ. That's the thing. There's a lot of stats that people kind of put, like, obviously out there when it comes to him, but there's a lot more. If I was to go deeper and deeper and deeper into those NBA record books, man, there's a lot. There's a lot. That's why when people were saying that LeBron is the greatest of all time, I was just saying, like, okay, you could believe that. But I put out a video. Where people were saying that LeBron is a much better rebounder than Michael Jordan. Well, that's what the stats say when you look in front of you. But what people don't know is LeBron James has less offensive rebounds than Michael Jordan, and he's played longer. As a matter of fact, I believe he has 112 offensive rebounds less than Jordan to this day. And I said, when you're a great rebounder, you rebound at both ends of the floor. How is it that a shooting guard still has more offensive rebounds than you at small forward? Especially when people have always been told that he's a better rebounder than Michael Jordan. And that's why I said I don't think he's a better rebounder than MJ. The numbers say that when you look at it in front, but he still has less offensive rebounds than MJ. And that's because LeBron goes after more defensive rebounds. Or people say that, Michael can't average LeBron where he goes 27, 8, and 8. Michael did it in the 89 season. 32 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 8 assists. And he did that on 54% shooting that year. He didn't win the MVP because his team didn't do too well. The Lakers won 60 games, Magic won MVP that year. But yeah, Jordan proved that he could put those kind of stats. And Jordan was the original Russell Westbrook when Doug Collins moved him to point guard. I think Jordan finished that season with 24 triple-doubles, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he had about, in a crazy stretch, he had like about what? I want to say, 15 games, he had 12 of them. So, Freddie G says, so what happened in those 9 years? Who are you talking about? Are we talking about LeBron or are we talking about MJ? Wait, did you? Oh, wait, you said you had Bron at 3. That's right. I'm thinking, I was like, wait, I thought you had LeBron as the GOAT, but no, that's right. You said you had Jordan as the greatest. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, Josh. 32, 8, and 8 on 3 steals. Oh, that's another thing. Michael Jordan led the league in steals 3 times. You know, LeBron in his prime. When I look at the best defense LeBron played from an individual standpoint, I look at that 2013 season. I thought that was LeBron in beast mode. I thought he was unbelievable in that 2013 season. Both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. So nobody gets scrutinized like Bron. When did you say Kobe got scrutinized for a good portion of his career? I mean, man, that's kind of tough, man. It's possible. I mean, you have an arguable point because even I said, a lot. A lot of the defense back then were fouls. Of course, the league was more physical back then, so there was stuff that they could get away with back then. But remember also, Freddie G, that this era gears to the offensive player a lot more now. So, because fans want to see people scoring points, that's why you don't really get these grind out defenses, and you got really less fouls. So, like I said, you breathe on a guy as a foul. So, like that's what it is in this era right now. Um, but yeah, like I said, like Michael Jordan has just a lot of NBA records, man. That's just because, like I said, if I wanted, because I have a video out of when I was comparing him to LeBron, and people were saying that LeBron is the greatest because he's beating Michael Jordan in like playoff points and all this. I said, if you look at how I break down that video, there's records that Michael Jordan has done that LeBron can't even sniff, that he won't even touch. And that's no disrespect to Bron, but it's like when you look at it, it's like he's really not gonna break that. Michelle's daughter, how's it going, my man? How's it going, bro? Exactly. Yo, Josh, you're absolutely right. And the thing was, Phil Jackson did not want him playing point guard. Even Doug Collins has said that was going to wear him down. That was the only time that MJ played point guard, because Doug Collins said that Michael Jordan, he thought that their offense wasn't really going anywhere, and he felt like Jordan could jumpstart their offense by being the point guard. And Jordan had to score, defend, and pass, kind of like what LeBron is doing right now. And I got to say this, to be honest, I know people talk a lot about Kobe in terms of how he mimicked his game after Michael. And like I said, he's a copy of Michael. So it's like a copy doesn't beat the original. Kobe patterned pretty much his game after Michael Jordan. And Kobe tends to lie a lot, saying that he idolized Magic. I don't believe him. Just in the way that he acts his career with MJ, he idolized Michael. So I'm pretty sure that he idolized Magic too. But his number one guy was Michael, especially because he plays shooting guard. So I already know. You can't say you want to pass like Magic, man, but all you wanted, for the most part, you want to do is score. But I think Kobe was an underrated passer. He doesn't get enough credit. He's number one all time in assists by a shooting guard. People don't give him that much credit. I mean, he's the only shooting guard with 30,000 points, 7,000 rebounds, and 6,000 assists. Like it or not, man. Yeah, I mean, most bricks. I mean, he took a lot of shots. His shot selection was not great. He's the most inefficient. That's why I said that I had him out of the top 10. That's why I have Kobe out the top 10. That's why you can't call me a fanboy if I got Kobe out the top 10, man. You can't. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Yeah, they associate that with Kobe, man. It's crazy, but it is what it is because it's to a degree it's true. But I think when it comes to Kobe's clutch stats, there's actually stats that I might pull up at a later date that actually show that Kobe was actually more clutch than people give him credit for, especially in the playoffs. They just put a lot of obvious stats to say that Kobe wasn't clutch, and they look at his game winners and they're like, oh, Kobe may have 36, but he's 36 for 115, but those are in the regular season. But I think they include that in the playoffs. But there's a lot more deeper playoff stats that nobody even fails to mention that they don't really talk about, but that's what they do. I mean, and I'm going to say this right now. LeBron has had his clutch moments too. I'm not going to sit here and not deny that. And what I'm saying is LeBron has quit one too many times for me to say that he's the greatest. And it's like I just hate that. For you to say that LeBron James has had bum teams his whole career, bum teams that he's took it to the finals, like that's stupid. All of a sudden they're bums. I don't understand that. I don't see how his '07 Cavs, one of the more underrated teams he played with in a much weak Eastern Conference, his team was a top 5 defensive team. They held Tim Duncan to 44% in the NBA Finals. I don't see how that's a trash team, man. LeBron James is obviously the best player. Obviously, that team was offensively challenged, but remember that they're also playing the LeBron James system too. And I'm gonna say this: I had no problem with LeBron leaving because again, he never got that second star that he needed in Cleveland that first go around to help him win. Like that's the truth. That's the truth. So I understand that, man. But and that's what I keep saying when we compared. But again, yes, LeBron got a lot of attention in that series, bro. I get it. In '07, and Bobby Gibson, but yo, they hit those shots, they don't make it to the NBA Finals. But I'm not blaming that on LeBron. But it's like I said before, as much as LeBron has had success with that LeBron James system, it's also been his biggest weakness. And that's why I said that I hope for this season that LeBron really utilizes his team. And I just don't want to see him throwing anybody on the bus. I don't want to see it because he's historically been known for that. And it's really more so been happening, I want to say, in his second stint in Cleveland, like when he came back. I really felt like that's when he really started doing that. But other than that, like I said, dude is one of the greatest, man. And that's my top 10 basically on LeBron. LeBron and all those other greats. Obviously, I got MJ number 1. LeBron is a top 10 all-time great in my book. Like I said, I told you that dude is a crazy diva. I'm not gonna sit here and say Kobe wasn't a diva. Yes, Freddie G, if you want to know if Kobe snitched on Sack, yes, he did. Yes, he did. And Kobe himself admitted to doing that too. He admitted it. He admitted to snitching on Sack. And that was, I think, about the rape trial. So if I'm not mistaken. So, he mentioned that. But let me know real quick, man. Let me know what you guys think. What's your top 10? I want to see what your top 10s are. Real quick. Jay Anderson, he has Russell, Kareem, Magic, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Hakeem, Shaq, LeBron, and Duncan. Is Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Isaiah Thomas, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone honorable mentions? Pretty sure. I'm guessing that's what he's doing right there. Okay. Freddie G, did you already put your top 10? I might have missed it. I might have missed your top 10. I know you said you had LeBron at number 3, and you said that MJ was the greatest. I respect the list, man. I don't got an issue with you putting LeBron as top 3. Okay. All right, Jay. Got you. Okay. I'm gonna have to research back and look at what you said. Let me see. We go back. Go back. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Going into your thing about Scottie Pippen, it's true. I hate the fact that Scottie doesn't get enough credit. I said that before. And when I talk about Scottie, I don't mean like he's some washed up bum and he wasn't anything. Jordan helped make Pippen, and I give Pippen a lot of credit. Like, this guy made 7 first-team All-NBA defense, and I think he's made 10 defensive teams overall. So Scottie Pippen was no slouch. And as a matter of fact, he helped lead the Bulls to 55 wins. It just shows you that Scottie was a great player, man. And Scottie was an MVP candidate in '94, the year that Jordan retired and was playing baseball. So So yo, Scotty deserves much more credit, man. So it's ridiculous the amount of crap that he gets. Let me see, Freddie G. So you got MJ, Kareem, MJ. Wait, you got MJ. I think you meant LBJ. Um, Magic, Bird, Wilt, Tim, Shaq, Hakeem. You have Kobe in your top 10? I would think you would have left him out. I don't have Kobe in my top 10. He's like on the bubble. I got him at 11. Mm. Yeah, I was thinking you had Braun at 3 because I was like MJ twice. Let me see. Josh says he's got MJ, Kareem, Bird, Magic, Hakeem, Duncan, Shaq, Wilt, and Kobe. It's a nice list. Nice list. Wow, you got Kobe at 10. That's cool. Okay. So Kobe's a top 10 for you, just at 10. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I know you just don't like it when people make it seem like Kobe's like top 10 all time. Top 5 or greatest of all time. Yeah, I can understand that. And in terms of comparing Kobe to LeBron, so I can see that one. I can't lie, man. I can't lie. My man Jordan Maverick says he's got Jordan, LeBron. You have LeBron at 2, or is that in no order? Well, Freddie, you have a good point there. At least you admit that, because a lot of guys won't admit that about Bron. That's what I be telling you. See, I like that. At least you can admit. At least you can admit that he could be a ball hawk too, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, Kobe was a ball hawk. Yeah, that's true. But even at the end, I told you, only shooting guard to have more than to have the most assists ever at the shooting guard position. So, but yeah, him and Kobe both. That's why I said that they both, to me, they're actually more comparable than people really realize. And in terms of like, they both, to me, idolize Michael Jordan. It's just one tries to say he doesn't, and that's Kobe. So he tends to lie about that when he patterned his game after Michael, and you can clearly see it. And then you got LeBron, who he's a stalker when it comes to MJ. He tends to be looking for that validation. At least with Kobe, he doesn't fawn over MJ like that in terms of like he looks at MJ as another competitor. Whereas LeBron is kind of looking at him as kind of like a surrogate father, man, just looking for recognition. It's like, dude, if you just play your game, Michael Jordan will recognize you. I've heard all these guys in the media talking about it's disgraceful that Michael Jordan only gave him a thank you. I said, first of all, I said LeBron should be happy that Michael even acknowledged him. To be honest with you, like Michael didn't really have to do that, and he did. So, like I said, that would be a huge thank you for me and my part. And then LeBron puts an Instagram post about of putting him with him and Michael, and I'm just like, this dude doing the most, bro. And that's what I said with Kobe and LeBron. They both idolize MJ. They just do it in different ways. One will lie to you into your face and say that I idolize Magic. I'm sure Kobe idolized Magic, but he idolized Michael too. But then you got LeBron, who's like, oh, I wanted to wear my shoes like MJ. I wanted the kids to look up to me like MJ. But this is the same dude that bashed LeBron through social media, talking about that Michael has not spoken for the black community. Listen, I've already said this before, man. MJ, again, he's done a lot of charitable work. He just doesn't publicize it. I mean, nobody talks about the fact that he gave money to the victims of 9/11. A lot of that goes over a lot of people's heads. I actually did a video on 19. This was back in 1991. The video was dating back to the 91 season. Jordan was interviewed by a woman named Marina Maples, and he talks about the charitable work that he does. Um, and Jordan said it best: if it's not in his place to talk about politics, he's not going to do it. He says he's just a basketball player. And I'm gonna say this: Jordan was not perfect by any means. This dude has had gambling allegations. This dude is a real asshole off the court. But when it comes to basketball, can't compare, man. Facts, Freddie, facts. Thank you, sir. Good point. Good point. He let Scotty do his thing. Exactly. Mm-hmm. All right, so Jordan Maverick had Kareem, Bird, Magic, Duncan, Will, Shaq, Russell, and Oscar Robertson. Oh, that's interesting. I have Oscar in my second top 10, but I respect the list. It's a good list, though. Very good list. Jay, that's a good point. That's a very good point. If y'all remember the interview in 2013 with Ahmad Rashad, what did Michael Jordan said? He said Kobe or LeBron. He said Kevin Durant because he didn't want to answer that question. But he said in terms of dominance of the game, he said LeBron. He said championships, Kobe Bryant. What does that tell me? When it came to winning, Kobe. When it came to dominance of the game in terms of probably better overall player, in his mind he had LeBron James, believe it or not. I think that's what MJ was thinking. And he also said that Kevin Durant was coming because he said when it came to dominance of the game, LeBron. Yeah, MJ was a diva too, man. We gotta be honest, man. This dude would be talking up in the refs' faces. That's why I said that I just talk about individual accolades in terms of who's better. But that's not to say here that Jordan wasn't a diva. He was too. He knew what referees to talk to when it came to calls. Yeah, there's been a lot of theories with that whole flu thing. There's been issue with food poisoning. They were saying he had the flu. I think it was food poisoning because I heard that he ate. I think it was a slice of pizza and it came out bad and he was actually throwing up all night. So I think he had food poisoning from what he ate, and he really didn't have the energy, but mustered enough to score 38 points in a crucial game 5. But look at it this way: even for him to score 38 points and hung over, that still says a lot. I mean, when you're hung over, you're not gonna want to do anything. He came and he put his shoes on and gave it his effort for the team. And they went, and then that was a pivotal game 5 because that series was tied at 2 games apiece in the '97 finals. Yeah, Mar. Yeah, I know. I'm about to get off and go shower. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Look at Jonah Jet comment. Yo, for real, man. Yeah, I mean, look, man. Jay, you speaking facts. Josh, yeah, Zeke hurt himself on that one. And one of the people from the NBA said it. I think it was the deputy commissioner at the time. He said it. It was just bad timing for Isaiah. Like I said, Isaiah's mouth didn't help him at all. And his actions on the court, leaving with 7 and 9/10 seconds about to get swept. I mean, I understand the comments that Jordan and Phil made about, your style of play, man, but you got to keep it professional, bro. That didn't help you. Yeah, Josh, I agree. They need to rename that to the food poisoning game because that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I mean, they did name it the flu game, so you got to keep it. You got to keep it 100, man. Freddie G, speaking big facts, my man. And I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't have heart. He just doesn't have the heart at the level of MJ. MJ said, "I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win." And he said it. Sometimes it hurt at the expense of his teammates, but he said it, man. Horace Grant was on record as saying Jordan said things that I didn't like. That tells you right there that he's not perfect. Yeah, he punched Steve Kerr in practice. He did. I told you, Jordan was a complete a-hole. But at the same time, he did apologize to Kerr. They made up for it, and it actually made them really good teammates. They actually became good friends after that situation, believe it or not. And he trusted Kerr, and Kerr helped him win a championship. And he said he was happy for Steve Kerr and that he got his moment. Exactly. Oh man, so ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun. I enjoyed this live stream. I wish there were more people on it, but I'm actually gonna end this live stream, and I'm gonna say that this has been fun. Um, Yo, I appreciate you guys for coming onto this live stream, man. Listen, and I appreciate all of you for taking the time, man. Once again, man, this is Louis Basketball Network. Check me out on the channel. Type it in. Subscribe if you're new. Get the likes up again, man. And make sure to share this content with others, man. But on that note, I just want to thank everybody for coming through. Jay Anderson, Freddie G. I know at times you and me go at it, but man, but again, you keep the foot on the next. I appreciate that, man. Jordan Maverick, Josh the GOAT, all of you guys. Jay Anderson, man. Doug Banks, Jay, all of you guys, man. Thank you. Michelle's daughter. Even though you came for a little bit, but still, thank you, man. And once again, man, I appreciate y'all, man. As always, man, bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you for enjoying the stream, man. Share it with others, man. Catch the replay. And yo, thanks for watching, man. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday night. And I will see you on the next one, man. Peace. Salute. Deuces. I'm out.